Hi everybody, my name is Lydia, and today I'm going to be talking about how maybe we should start judging people just a little bit more in our life. Which it kind of sounds like the opposite of what we've been hearing the past few years. I feel like maybe about 5 years ago, I just couldn't go anywhere without seeing some sort of post online saying, don't judge me, we can't judge people, stop judging people, don't judge a book by its cover. It's like the premise of that is beautiful and good. The idea of it is all well and good. But in some respects, I think we should start judging people a little bit more. Because I think sometimes we, as humans, I would say especially as women, but I notice this happens with men too, but it's almost like we are fed that idea so much to where we shove and push down our own discernment and our own intuition even, because when we start listening to our intuition, so often it's going to be received by other people with heavy criticism, that we might be judging somebody or just being unnecessarily cruel, when really our intuition is telling us that something is wrong, something is off, something is bad. I can't even tell you how many times in my life I would know deep within my spirit that person cannot be trusted. They're not a safe person to be around. I don't know, they make me feel like I can't be my true self around them, what have you. And whether it be from outside sources or even my own intuition, my own self-negative talk telling me that I can't listen to my true self and I have to stop being so judgmental. And it would often do me a huge disservice. Even growing up, and I know this is hard for a lot of us out there who were forced growing up to be around family members who were not so kind to us, who maybe were not to be trusted, who we couldn't be our true selves around. And we were just told a lot of the time that we couldn't call them out, especially if we're the black sheep of the family. How many of you guys are the black sheep of the family out there? Hello, me. I was always the first one to call out the BS and also the first one to be condemned for it. So I mean, any of you guys out there relate to that? Because if you do, maybe you guys will relate to what I'm about to say, which is like, if you've had that experience and you were told not to speak up, that we have to just put up with these family members, we have to just sort of live with them and just whatever, put up with it, and you're being dramatic, you're making too much out of this, you're making something out of nothing, all of that sort of mindset. It's understandable that as we grow up, we start to tell ourselves that about other people who mimic that energy. As an adult, so many people have reminded me or shown traits that remind me of family members that I no longer have contact with, that I've cut off, who treated me poorly growing up. And every single time I would tell myself, like, no, that person isn't thinking negative thoughts about me. No, that person isn't actually cruel. They probably meant this. I always have to fill in the blanks. It seems like I could never let myself truly accept that person is giving me all the red flags. They're showing me all the signs that they are not looking out for my best interest. But that negative self-talk, that not just negative self-talk, but also like the condemning, the suppression of my own intuition. And I think if we all tapped into judging people just a little bit more, not unnecessarily judging people, not unnecessary judgments, but really listening to our intuition and accepting that is okay. That sometimes if it looks like a duck and it walks like a duck, it might be a duck, you know? And I think a lot of us have that repressed intuition. And we never want to assume, especially not just with the people in our lives and not just with ourselves, but even media. I mean, how many times as a child have we watched some sort of movie or TV show where the bad guy isn't just a bad guy, or we've been taught and conditioned over time that the odd one out is actually the good guy, or the odd one out is actually a positive thing. It's a good thing, which sometimes that's true. But sometimes the odd one out is the odd one out for a reason. Sometimes the person who is a jerk genuinely is a jerk, and they really do wish to see things fall, and they really do wish to seek out the worst in people. And I think a lot of the media and the movies and the TV shows that we were conditioned with as children have perpetuated this mindset that we need to almost be a doormat and almost accept just anybody who walks through our path, even if they are showing and displaying narcissistic personality or sociopathic traits, or if they're just a negative person. It's almost like we can't allow ourselves to actually own that we are seeing that. We can't allow ourselves to say, okay, they're talking like a narcissist, they are acting like a sociopath, or they are just a general negative person. We can't say that. We've repressed that, and so we've almost conditioned ourselves to be overly accepting of these people. Let's overly accept them in our lives. Let's overly lay down the mat for them, especially when other people are rejecting them, and we start seeing that and we go, see, they're rejected by society. Let's be a doormat. Let's help them. Let's be there for them. Let's be overly kind to them, because we can't judge them. We can't judge them too much. And instead, maybe we need to be like the majority in those cases and just go, hey, maybe people are treating them like that. Maybe people are shunning them for a good reason. Maybe it's because that person's not too nice. And maybe if I just stick to my true intuition and my true self, and I only allow people who are genuine, who are willing to hear me out, who are positive and uplifting, if I only allow those people in my life, then maybe over time, those people will change their ways. And if they don't, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, and it doesn't apply to me, you know? It's a really hard way to live. To uncondition yourself from those patterns and to only accept this in your life, only accept and nothing less than these core, healthy, uplifting people. That's not to say that when our friends fall, that we should just kick them out of our life. You know, everybody has their bad moments and everybody falls, but overall, is this person a person who at their core is looking out for me, who cares about me, who has true empathy? You know, listening to our intuition. And sometimes our intuition and our bodies understand and remember things more than our conscious mind does. So when a person walks in the room and they give you that icky bad vibe, that bad feeling that makes you just want to kind of recoil a little bit, just tapping into that and being like, you know what, logically, this doesn't make sense. Logically, I don't understand. So I'm just going to keep my distance and observe. And over time, you'll start to understand why your body is saying these things to you. At least that's what I've been starting to notice with myself when I listen to myself. It's a process. It is a process to undo this conditioning, right? To go, okay, instead of overly welcoming them or overly talking to them or overly communicating with them or just allowing them to just enter my life, because logically, that's what I should do in this situation. Just, okay, my body's telling me no, my spirit, my intuition is telling me no. Something about this person's off. Something about their vibe is off. Let me just sit back and observe and allow their true colors to push forward. I don't know, our bodies and our intuition is just, it's so much wiser than we give it credit for. It's so much wiser. And maybe it might not mean that the person's a bad person or that the person is out seeking evil, you know? It might just really mean that that person just isn't for you. That there's something about the energy that they hold and the energy that you hold that just repels, and that's okay too. Not everybody's meant to mingle with everybody. Not everybody's meant to share the same space and energy with everybody else. I think also what's helped me realize these things is coming to the realization that there are really just people out there that are pure evil. There are. I used to reject that mindset at all costs, that there are no evil people, that there are people who have had bad experiences that have made them do some pretty heinous and terrible things in life, and maybe there's even something off mentally. There's always just like some reason, but there are some people out there who are just wicked to their core, who are just like that. There are. And if you don't believe me, start observing, man. Start observing. Look out for people who have sociopathic traits, you know? I mean, there is something off mentally there. There is a mental lack, right? But sometimes it's people you least expect it too. There is no empathy there, you know? And I used to not realize that was even a thing, but it's a very real thing. It's a very real thing. And so, I don't know, it kind of helps me understand that it's okay for me to judge them and just go, look, they aren't for me. That trait, this, you know, the trait of being a sociopath or a narcissist, that's not for me. And so I distance myself. And it might not even be that they are a narcissist or a sociopath, but it might just be that they have these traits. And I wish to back away from that. I don't accept that. And that's okay. We don't have to accept everybody. That conditioning, it runs deep. It runs deep, especially for, you know, my generation and maybe Gen X and, you know, millennial, probably younger than me. Just these blocks of generation, we were ingrained and conditioned with our programming, with our television, with our all sorts of media, really, that just accept it. Yeah, that's that. Have a good day, everybody. Just my little food for thought for today. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.